Welcome to my channel. My name's Don. Wanted to spend some time today talking a little bit about antique fishing lures. All of us have them. If you've been fishing any length of time at all, I'm sure you've got some old lures in your tackle box that might be considered antiques. I was fortunate. My grandfather fished a little bit, and my father was an avid fisherman. And when both passed away, I ended up getting all their fishing tackle, and I've actually been able to save most of it. Um, at one time, probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, I had so much old fishing tackle that I kept it all in plastic boxes, and I rarely would take it all out because it was such a chore to be able to get it all out of all the different hiding places that I put it in. And really, that's the only way to really enjoy, collecting is to be able to look at what you've been able to collect. And so, like I say, 10, 15, 20 years, I don't even remember anymore. But I ended up selling off quite a bit of it simply because I had no way to really display it. So I guess a few years ago, I started getting back involved and started going back through what I had left. And at the same time, I met a couple of guys that were pretty heavy into collecting lures. A gentleman named Doug Williams, and Doug actually introduced me to a number of people that were members of the FATC, which is the Florida Antique Tackle group. So I'm not sure what that C stands for, but anyway, Doug introduced me to some folks up there, Gene Meisberg, Bernie Schultz, is Chuck Hedden, who was the great grandson of the original Hedden family, and I was able to go to one of their meetings here back in September, and I got to tell you, I really had a good time. There were so many things to see, so many people to talk to. All of them, for the most part, were strong advocates of fishing and the outdoors. And most had either started collecting a long, long time ago, or a couple had just started recently recollecting, kind of like I did. But while I was there, I had the opportunity to pick up some lures that I didn't have in my collections. And, I ended up with a number of things that I never thought I'd be able to find anywhere else. But the purpose of this particular topic today is the fact that there's actually Florida Antique Dealers meeting coming up the early part of February. It's going to be held up in St. Augustine, and it'll be the biggest show really of the year. It's their annual International Antique Fishing Tackle Show, and I'm really excited about it because there's actually going to be 200 plus vendors that'll be displaying their wares, and the show should be a spectacular show. It's actually going to be I think it's February 6th through the 8th, and it's going to be held at the World Golf Village in St. Augustine. If you'd like more information, just put a note below, and I'll list the actual address where you can go. You do have to be a member, I believe, to attend, but memberships, not very much. I think it's $35 a year. You may be able to go even if you're not a member by just paying some type of an admission charge. Again, this group is fairly new to me, so I'm learning kind of as I go. But I do know that they're going to have a number of different speakers and a couple of really special drawings that are going to take place. So if you're into collecting fishing lures like I am, and I brought a few just to show you, It's a little hard sometimes to display them the way you want to, but these are just a few of the balsa lures that I collect. These are one of my favorite lures in the past, uh, the Arbogast mud bugs. I don't know how well you can see them here, but actually my two favorite lures of all time are the Big O, which I'll talk about in a separate video, and jitterbugs. Um, I have just a great affinity for jitterbugs. If you've ever used a jitterbug, you can relate to what I'm going to say. But I can go all the way back to when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, back when we would travel to Rice Lake in Canada. And I'd go out at night with my father, and he would tie on a black jitterbug. Back then, we'd used Mitchell 300 reels, uh, and nothing we had was really expensive. Fiberglass fishing rods, but we would go out at night right before dark, and we would throw those black jitterbugs. And if I closed my eyes, I could still hear the pop, pop, pop of that jitterbug coming across the surface. Of course, it's so quiet at night, you can hear a pin drop to begin with. And up in Rice Lake, not only are there a lot of largemouth bass, but there's a lot of rock bass. And so quite often you get 2 or 3 hits on the way back to the boat just from rock bass. And some of those rock bass get pretty big. I mean, they'd normally run 8 to 9 inches, but every once in a while you catch one 12, 13 inches, and they'd give you a good fight. But when a big bass hit that lure, I mean, you knew it. And to this day, I still, when I can't go to sleep at night, I'll lay there and think about fishing with a jitterbug, just because it's such a relaxing and exciting thing for me to dream about or think about. I've incorporated the black jitterbug into a couple of the books that I've written, and if you've read the books, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I have hundreds of them. I probably have in the neighborhood of 200, 250 jitterbugs. Most of them are the original jitterbugs that were made out of wood, a long, long time ago. I think back in the 30s or 40s, 1930s or 1940s. And later, they began making them out of plastic like they did almost all the fishing lures. But the wood ones are the ones that I like, and they're the ones that I collect. I've even got, 20 or 30 musky jitterbugs, and they're huge. I mean, they're probably 6 or 7 inches long with 3 or 4 large treble hooks on them. And although I don't use them very often here in Florida, every once in a while I get the urge to throw a big musky jitterbug. And, these bass, they'll hit a big swim bait. They'll hit a big musky jitterbug. Anyway, if you're into collecting, if you have any interest at all, I would strongly recommend that you consider going to this meeting up in St. Augustine. You can easily find more information about it if you just go to the website, type in F as in Frank, A as in Alpha, T as in Tango, and C as in Charlie. If you just type in FATC, up will come their website, and you can read all about all the information. It even shows you pictures of the hotel they'll be staying in. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be 2 or 3 days, so I don't know if I'll make it for all 3 days, but I'm truly looking forward to going. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't be afraid to like my video down below and become a subscriber. I have a million ideas of videos, things that I want to talk about going forward, and I'm pretty excited about it. So obviously I want to grow this channel, and it'll be because of people like yourself. So again, subscribe, like the video, And please, leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I will take the time to try to reply to you. Thanks again. Have a great day.